Welcome back. Check your calendars. It's Wednesday, October the 31st for our Halloween cinema segment. Lisa Nettleson, our film critic's here. She's been in the USA doing her patriotic duty, voting. Something you're allowed to do, of course, ahead of time in certain American states. I'm happy to see she's back with us. I can't help noticing, though, Lisa, you have an arachnid on your head.
Oh, so I do. Just 36 hours ago, I was still in Chicago trying to decide what would be scarier for Halloween, the prospect of a spider in proximity to my formidable brain or a Mitt Romney Halloween mask.
So which did you decide? How did you decide?
Well, I commissioned a poll, of course, and 47% of my fellow citizens were concerned that I would never get the pipe cleaners out of my hair, and 47% of my fellow citizens ran off shrieking the name of the Republican presidential candidate.
And was there a margin of error for this poll?
Probably quite likely about 47%. But by the way, in addition to voting, I was in Chicago for the 48th annual Chicago International Film Festival, and the winner of the top prize, the Gold Hugo, turned out to be a French film, Léos Carax's Holy Motors. It also got the Best Actor prize for the amazingly versatile Denis Lavant and the Cinematography Award. And regular viewers of this slot, they know that I literally jumped up and down on this very set when Holy Motors was released in France.
I've seen it myself. Very bizarre, but worth a look. I do like it when you jump up and down, though. Will we be going to see that again soon?
Well, how about right now? Because
yes.
Today is the day that Tim Burton's Frankenweenie is out here in France.
Yay.
It's a just about perfect love story between a boy and his dog, set in analog-era American suburbia, animated in stop motion and in black and white, like the classic horror films to which it sweetly pays tribute.
Excellent. So how can we tell this is a Tim Burton movie?
Well, for starters, in movies by other people, when a pet is dead, it has a tendency to remain dead. Young Victor, who has a scientific bent and is lucky enough to live in a planned community where conveniently there's an electrical storm just about every night. He's conducting an experiment in the attic of his parents' house with his beloved dog Sparky, who not that long ago was 6 feet under. And he's just zapped him with lightning. Let's watch.
Sorry, boy. You're alive! Sparky! You're alive! I can't believe it! You're alive! I can fix that.
Oh, did you see that? Little tear. I love it when nature's jump cables work. Of course, here at France 24, we have to assemble the news fact by fact, and it can be a painstaking process. Lisa, how do they stop action puppetry anyway? How do they do that?
Well, since articulated silicone puppets must be repositioned every frame or two, an animator can expect to produce only 5 seconds of finished footage in a week's work. Frankenweenie required 2 years of full-time effort by 33 animators. The production used 15 Sparky puppets in various stages of life or resurrected life. Over 300 points of articulation were packed into the relatively small silicone body. So you make a little adjustment, you take a few frames, you make another little adjustment. It gives the impression of motion. And some reviewers have said, we've seen this before from Tim Burton in movies like The Nightmare Before Christmas or Corpse Bride. But that's a bit like saying Usain Bolt has a tendency to run really fast every time he enters a race. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing what you're good at with slight variations. And when we pay to see a concert, you know, we feel jilted or cheated if our favorite songs aren't performed. And yet a filmmaker is tacitly expected to break new ground every time the camera rolls. That's not fair.
Yeah, of course, there are filmmaker situations in which being dead and being brought back to life is the stuff of entertainment. And when there's reality, there's the dead have a persistent tendency to remain dead. truly departed.
That's true. Tackling the subject of murder and the death penalty, director Werner Herzog has made a phenomenally wrenching and sensitively told documentary called Into the Abyss. The film begins with Herzog interviewing a polite young man who's on death row for a stupid crime involving a car. Let's watch.
You will die, or you are scheduled for executions
Right.
in only 8 days.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm a Christian, so, I believe that, paradise awaits one way or the other. So I tell people all the time, I'm either going home or home. So I'm either going home to the world or home to God. So, as the days get closer, I can feel the pressure on my shoulders. They call it clinical depression, where I just start having less motivation to do things, less energy. You get frustrated at the system. How can they not see, my situation is wrong? I used to write all the time and have a lot of energy, and I just don't have it anymore. I just feel like I've been beaten down.
I have the feeling that destiny, in a way, has dealt you a very bad deck of cards. It does not exonerate you. And when I talk to you, it does not necessarily mean that I have to like you. But I respect you, and you are a human being, and I think human beings should not be executed. As simply as that.
Right.
Lisa, it doesn't seem like a threat to society to me. I'm almost afraid to ask, but is he executed?
Well, I'm not saying, because I do hope that you'll see the movie, but Herzog then takes us through what happened and how many, many lives were affected. And he shot an amazing interview with a man whose job it was to put inmates to death and to whom it was just a job until suddenly it wasn't. Herzog lets people speak for themselves, and he's a brilliant interviewer. I mean, his instincts are really, really admirable. He draws out stories dripping with telling detail, and he does so always with compassion. It's the opposite of hollow, sensation-driven reporting, and it's truly stunning to see.
Does look dramatic stuff, doesn't it? Also out today, here in France, re-release in the 1973 classic American Graffiti.
Indeed, indeed. Now, I'm going to commit heresy here. George Lucas created Star Wars, a series of films that I have to say has always left me absolutely cold. Oh. And we have the 7th installment to look forward to in 2015. But a movie he made before Star Wars, American Graffiti, was a delightful event when it burst on the scene in 1973, extolling the beauty of California car culture and really good popular music circa 1962, just after high school graduation. So I have a vivid memory of going to see it with a male friend, and when we came out, we were absolutely convinced that we should be able to take the top down on his car, even though it was not a convertible. That's how infectious the movie was. And the movie has a great cast, from Richard Dreyfuss to Ron Howard to a younger Harrison Ford. It's a fun look, a swell score. Here's a snippet at Mel's Drive-In. Let's watch.
Prove it. Not too good, huh? Why is it every girl that comes around here is ugly? Or has a boyfriend? Where's the dazzling beauty I've been searching for all my life? I know what you mean. The pickings are really getting slim. The whole strip is shrinking. I remember about 5 years ago, it'd take you a couple hours, tank full of gas just to make one circuit. It's really something. Hey, Jim. Someone new in town. Yeah. You gonna go after him? Hey, listen, Professor. If he can't find me, then he ain't even worth racing, right? A big shot. Well?
Yeah, it's American Graffiti, the re-release. Go on then, Lisa, put your spider back on your head.
Oh,
Halloween.
must I?
Yeah,
Sure.
definitely, definitely. We need to see it again. There it is. Perfect. Don't get scared out there, okay, kids? Don't get scared. Happy Halloween to you, from Lisa and from me, and everyone here at France 24. The very latest news coming up, if you can get over the spider after the break. Stay with us if you can.